Okay, awesome. All
Okay.
right. So first I would like to ask your name and your title.
Okay. My name is Raynard Churchwell. I'm the public relations coordinator for the School of Film, Media, and Theater here at Georgia State University.
Awesome, awesome. That's really great. How long have
Thank
you
you.
been working in this position?
I've been here since August of last year.
Okay, okay. And how do you personally like it so far?
It's been okay. It's been definitely a learning experience, but I've enjoyed it so far for the most part.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So tell me what your typical day looks like as a PR at Georgia State.
It varies. It's never really one certain thing. I wear a lot of hats, so it
Okay.
can strive from maybe creating graphics for social media, planning events, posting things on social media. Let's see, what else do I do? A lot. I do a lot. Let's see. And just making sure everything is in place for certain events coming up. So it's never actually one thing. It's just whatever the day take wherever the day takes me.
Okay. So what would you say like your definition of public relations as a career is like for someone like myself who's never like worked in it and maybe is interested in getting into public relations, what would you say like are all the hats and the titles and what does the actual position contain?
If I had to, in my own words, I would say it's a mix of marketing, communications, and it's definitely in this day social media operation, and
So it's
just
heavy on social media.
yeah, that's definitely something very important. That's how you're gonna get your word out about your events and things that's going on with your business or whatever. So I would say definitely your communication skills and your people skills have to be on point. But yeah, it's definitely a mix of all those things.
Okay. Okay. So to prepare to become a PR for your specific position, what other positions did you have or what were your like preparations to get into this field? Or is it something that you can just like, just jump into and just kind of like work your way through it?
It was funny for me. I really believe it was God's timing because I never went to school for PR or anything like that. I never had no idea I'd be in this position. So just to give you a short rundown, I make it quick. I started off while I'm working in newspapers out here in Fayetteville, Georgia, that's South Atlanta, that region, and working for about $30 a story.
Oh, wow.
Then went out to Texas for a little bit, became a sports editor. That was my first full-time job. And well, I went to school for journalism, so that was my first full-time job in journalism. So after about a year in Texas, I moved to Macon and started working in TV. Then my first real things with PR, I was at Fort Valley State University before this. I was actually a marketing communication specialist.
Okay.
And now I'm here. So pretty much all the skills of writing, videography, photography, marketing, and all the communication stuff has pretty much brought me here.
Okay. Okay, that sounds good. So for myself, I think then the question would be today if I wanted to get into PR, what position would should I strive for? Or do you think that I could possibly just go and apply for a PR position without prior experience?
Just to be honest with you, it's going to be hard trying to get a full-time PR job without any experience.
Okay.
So I would say definitely this is something I didn't do in college and it kind of set me back. Definitely start making those relationships with people. Like you're doing now, reach out to people on LinkedIn, say, hey, I want to talk, say, hey, do you have anything available? Just making those connections, those friendships, if you will, because that'll take you a long way. It's not about always what you know, it's who you know. And I've learned that the hard way. In college, when I wanted to just go to work, go to class, and go home, and that didn't cut it.
Hmm.
So people so it took me about a year and a half to get a full-time job where other people that I graduated with started getting jobs with Good Morning America, CNN, and I
Okay.
was at Publix at the grocery store still stacking the shelves up.
Right.
So it's definitely, everybody has their own path, but I feel like that kind of put me behind the eight ball a little bit. So that's something I would definitely say starting out with that. And then as far as majors and classes go, I would definitely say something communications or journalism related.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good. That sounds good. So what would you say is some major challenges with your position or your job?
Well, me personally, probably the event planning part of things. This is the first job I've had to worry about making sure everything is in place as far as events go. And like nobody else is really here to help me either. I'm the guy for it. So it's
Mm,
just like, okay, if something doesn't go right, it's on me. And so
mm,
that's definitely been a challenging part of it. And then it's just a lot of moving pieces, making sure everything is, done what needs to be done in a timely manner. So just time management and just, organization. That's probably the biggest curveball.
okay. Okay. So you don't have a team that works under you?
Nope, I'm the only PR person. It's just me, no team, no nothing.
Oh wow. Is that
Mhm.
is that typically
Well,
how it works or
let me take that back. For the School of Film, Media, and Theater, I'm the only person, but we're under the College of Arts, and it's like about 5 PR people for us total. So I learn from them from time to time. But everything in my school, I'm responsible for.
yeah, in your field? Got you. Okay.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay. So just kind of doing things on your own and running things,
Mhm.
such as like event planning can be one of the big issues that you face. Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
okay.
just of course, you're gonna have with me personally having people flood you with they need this, they need web edits, they need designs, they need all that good stuff, and you have to do it in a timely manner. So it can be a lot, but you definitely have to stay organized and stay flexible.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So could you give me some examples or some events that you've had to like hold and like, what was the process and actually coming up with those events and maybe like the purpose and the reasons behind it?
Yeah, so here we have a lot of actors and filmmakers here. Of course, the School of Film, Media, and Theater, which Atlanta is a huge hub for film
Right.
and theater. And so, what was this? A few months ago, one of our professors he had a movie premiere.
Oh,
It's called Black Balsam by Heath Franklin. It's a great movie. And so with that, I had to set up the premiere. I had to make sure the venue was good to go. The Rialto, it's a theater right across the street from us. So I had to make sure all that was good. I had to make sure the refreshments were on point. Had to make sure cameras and banners and lights that were everything were good for photo shoots. Q&As, had to make sure all that was intact. So it was a lot, but it turned out to be successful. It was one of the top events so far of the school year as far as attendance goes, and everybody had a good time. So it's a lot, but when it goes well, it's very fulfilling.
okay. Okay, that sounds
Mhm.
good. So would you say with PR events, like I guess the purposes for the different events like vary? Like it's never just like, for instance, just like, okay, we just wanted to just do something random. Like
Mhm.
it hasn't been an event, so we're doing something, or is it like always has like a bit of a purpose to it? So it's never just like kind of a random event.
Yeah, I would say everything has a purpose. You might just be, like I said, promoting someone's new movie in the department. A lot of things I do are student oriented, whether it's recruiting like at career fairs or bringing in the people that just got accepted, showing them around on tours, that type of thing. So I feel like everything serves a purpose. Like I said, it differentiates between depending on what you want to do, but
Right.
yeah, everything serves a purpose.
Okay, that sounds good. Um, okay. How do you know when you are successful in your job? How do you know when
Um,
you've been successful in your job?
well, 9 times out of 10, like this is me personally, I can just feel it when it's a lot of people. You see everybody having a good time, laughing, smiling, or maybe, for example, you get a big increase or boost on social media,
Yeah.
or just a lot of things you did, or getting a lot of interactions. That's successful for me. But at the end of the day, I would say maybe when my director's happy and my coworkers are happy with the work I've done, I would say that makes it successful.
Okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. And if there was anything about your job that you could change, what would it be?
Well, we all want to get paid more.
What would you say
No,
is the salary range for people in PR positions?
Um, I can't really answer that because I know it varies depending on what type of PR you do.
Okay.
So I know working in education is going to be one thing, and maybe if you're working for a private company, it can be a whole nother thing. So I don't really want to put a number on that.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So,
so I'm
mhm.
sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
And so I would just, from that standpoint, I would just say, just it goes back to being real well rounded and things of that nature. So you can do just any job that PR requires you to do.
Okay. Okay. But in terms of pay range, you would say that maybe the education system of PR would be paid less than a private, or would you say more, or like what's your gauge in the realistic world of someone trying to come in like, hey, maybe just don't look at education if you're trying to get paid like 50K, or maybe try moving towards the private sector, or if you could break that down a bit for me.
I'm sure. Well, education, I would like typically think they would like pay less than the private sectors would, but it all depends on experience. Me, I came in with no PR experience really. I just came in with a lot of different skills. And so I couldn't probably make the max straight up, but probably next year I'll probably ask for a raise that'll put me up there since I've shown that I can shown them what I can do.
Right.
And so from that standpoint, I would just say explore all your options, especially if you're coming out of college or just getting started. Don't turn anything down. Listen to what everybody has to say. I know we all need the money, we all want the bag. I do too. And so But at the end of the day, you got to start somewhere.
Right, right. That's
Mhm.
good. That's good. So when it comes back to my original question of if there's anything you want to change about your job, so it would just be the pay is what you would say. You don't have anything else that you would want to change?
Yeah, and don't. Hopefully, you can edit that out. I don't want to get in trouble. But no, I'm joking. But what else would I change? Um, No, that's about it. I mean, I would like to probably work with a team, me personally, but
Okay.
I know it's just a different challenge for me. It helps me, to get better, and I don't have anybody else I can depend on but me. So I
Yeah.
feel like in a sense that's helpful as well. But a little help here and there wouldn't be hurtful.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
just having a team, but I mean that could vary per your department or your company as well, though.
Yeah,
Because
and it depends, and it depends what you're comfortable with. Some people don't like working with teams,
okay.
and like because some people don't pull their own weight, which we've all been there before.
Right.
So here it's like with me, if I don't get something done, okay, I have nobody to blame but myself,
Mm,
and so from that standpoint, it's kind of a kind of like a win-lose situation because it's a lot. It does get hectic sometimes, and I wish I had another PR person to come help me. But at the same time, I know like I can depend on me to get the job done.
okay. So what if like what about getting assistance? Is that something that they do in the PR sector? Like you are the PR, but you maybe have assistants or associates or anything like that that may not technically be a PR, but they can still assist you. Is that something that typically happens or no?
A lot of times we have interns
Okay, interns.
that
Okay.
come in to help us. Like for example, I can't be after all the after hour things. So I
Mm,
might ask the intern, to go take some pictures or, just record a few videos to post on social media, that type of thing. So that can be helpful.
okay, okay. So interns
Mhm.
are okay.
Mhm.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so since I mean but you mentioned before that this isn't your first PR job. Was it the one in Texas?
Officially, this is my first PR
Oh, this
job.
one is
Hmm.
okay. Okay, so okay, well, you were still in the sector, right? So
Hmm.
still
Yeah.
did, like the social media and you did the newspaper as well. So how
Mhm.
would you say maybe the environment of like public relations has changed since you began in the field, like from your first marketing job to like now, maybe even with COVID or with the years with social media, like have you seen a change in anything since you began versus now?
Um, I would just say from my journey, things are a lot more fast paced.
Okay.
Well, people like you have to get the word out immediately. People want, post when and whenever time they want it.
Mm.
So, and it's like when I was working in the newspaper, you knew the published date was Wednesday, so everything had to be done by then.
Right,
Here you might have what they might give you 2 days to do something, and you have to get it done. And
right.
that just comes with the territory. Sometimes it's not ideal. I don't personally enjoy it, but that's just the hat you wear. So
Yeah.
I would just say that just like the time management side is a bit more hectic,
Okay.
especially in today's world, because I say a lot of people have the attention span of an ant where they forget something the next day or 2 days later. So you
Exactly.
just have to constantly remind them and keep posting things. So I
Yeah.
would say that's probably differentiates from when I first started.
Yeah, no, that's great because I was thinking the same thing. I think with society today and our generation today, we're so much more as the years keep progressing, we're so much more social media conscious
Mhm.
and like just social media focused completely. So I feel like maybe even posting a physical flyer on campus is not as effective as it would be now posting things on social media because everyone is just like, on their phone, on the Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, like whatever else. And so I think maybe even that, like the more platforms that are also coming up, so the more that you have to like also interact and engage with people like that. So
Mhm.
like let me ask you in terms of like social media, like would you say you have to like maybe now do things like on TikTok more than before? Or like what are the other type of social media platforms that you really use to like engage your students or your audience, that your target audience?
Okay. So Instagram is definitely the top priority for me. That's where most of our interactions come from. Like when people come to events, they say they saw it on Instagram. So whatever we do, I know that's going on Instagram first. We
Okay.
also have what else? LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're
Okay.
currently not on TikTok right now, but I plan to be on there.
Okay.
And so, yeah, just from that standpoint, that's like one of the biggest things right now. That's how you get the word out as far as marketing goes, because that's just how it goes. Not people aren't looking at billboards or posters on the wall anymore. They're seeing, what's on their feed. You're checking it when you wake up on your lunch break. That you're on your phone seeing what's going on.
Okay.
So, that's probably the main thing right now with social media. The biggest concept of like PR.
Okay, that sounds good. So what would you say with that going on? What would you say the future of PR looks like? Um, from now in the next 5 years, what would you say that you can imagine that it would look like?
Let's see. Well, first off, I see everything being digital. I don't really see us doing too many posters or too many hands-on items like that anymore, maybe besides career fairs and things like that. I feel like everything is going to be electronic, whether it's email marketing or just you seeing different events and graphics on social media. That's the way it goes. And so, and a lot of people are making a lot of money when it comes to social media with the influencers and that type of thing now.
Right.
And so from that standpoint, I just feel like, social media is going to continue to grow, and it's pretty much going to feel like it's going to drive everything else out at the end of the day.
Okay. Yeah, no, I can definitely agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
So just let me see. I had a question. I lost my train of thought.
Oh, no problem.
Yes. So I was gonna say, so outside of like events that you're planning for PR, like on your day-to-day basis, like would you say that's all it is that you're doing? Like that's most of your work is just planning events, like outside of maybe planning events, is it that you maybe have to reach out to like other schools or other like I don't know, like organizations and try and build relationships with them, or like maybe just breaking it down just a little bit deeper for me on like what other specific things that you have to do on your day-to-day basis.
Yeah, sure. Well, like I said earlier, it can vary. So, for example, now before you called, I'm working on a reel for Instagram as far as FMT and like all the things that we do. So, social media is a big part of it because I control all the accounts. So, it's posting and creating graphics and flyers for it. What else? I do all the majority of the feature stories. Maybe we have an alum that's done a big thing in the world. For example, a few months ago, somebody wrote a book and it did numbers. And so I had to interview her, like just like you're doing me, record it, get all the write it down and publish it.
Okay.
So that's another thing I do. And event planning, and what are some other things? It's a lot of things. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I would think. Oh yeah, web edits. That's one of the big things I do. Web design. With the FMT website, I constantly have to keep it updated. Maybe we added somebody or we lost a professor. We have to make sure that's updated because that looks bad. You see a website and they used to have stuff from 2017 or 2019. You're gonna think, okay, they don't know what they're doing. And so from that standpoint, you just have to stay on top of things. And let's see, that's about all I can think of right now. You got web design, graphic design. I do some photography at the events. I put videos together, event planning. Yeah, and about you were saying with the relationships with others. Yeah, I have to reach out constantly, whether it's different colleges to see maybe they want to come to grad school up here. Okay. Maybe high school students want to attend here for undergrad, and so I'm the one that's responsible for saying, hey, you come to Atlanta, this is a great place, come out here and just learn with us. And so from that standpoint, it's a lot, but like I said, time management is just your biggest thing, and your creativity has to be on point too.
Okay, awesome. So tell me a bit about time management. I'm so glad you asked. You sound like you have a lot on your plate and many hats to wear. So how would you say you manage your time? Do you have a schedule? Like, and I know you don't have an assistant as well. So how is it that you're managing all of this and all these different hats at the same time?
Well, me and about four of the people in the department, we have meetings every Monday.
Okay.
And so pretty much then I jot down what the things I want to do and how I plan to do them. And my supervisor, he'll tell me, things that he wants me to do as well. So just trying to crunch all that into like a week span and then just go from there. And then, like I said, you might get professors or others saying they need this, they need that. So you're going to have to, divvy away and make that time. And it's all about, prioritizing, honestly. If you have an event that's next week, you can't worry about an event that's 3 weeks down the line right now. You have to focus on this. And so, like I said, it's time consuming. You really have to be on top of things. But I would just say that's how I do it. Just writing down everything and just jotting things off one by one, just getting it done in a quality manner, but, in a timely manner too.
Got you. So would you say like you put everything on a calendar, you schedule everything? Like, what works best for you? What's your personal method? I want to know your personal secret of managing time. Do you like, put it on the calendar? Do you just have it on your phone? Do you just write it out? Are you like a sticky notes type of person? Like, what exactly do you do?
Yeah, I guess I'm old fashioned. I still do the sticky notes and I write it down like physically.
Okay.
So unless it's something like urgent, I might, tell my phone to like, give me a reminder that so and so is due, by
Right.
the end of the day or things like that. But yeah, I definitely write it down.
Okay. Okay. That sounds
Mhm.
good. That sounds good. I did have another question, but I did lose my train of thought.
Oh no, no problem.
I'm I'm so young. I don't know why I'm always doing this.
That's okay.
Um, uh, I cannot remember what it was that I was going to ask. Um, I cannot remember. It came up,
That's
but
cool.
it's gone now. I think I was talking about time management, and you spoke a bit about that. It's almost there. I'm
Okay.
sorry, give me 1 second. Like it's coming. Okay, you spoke about speaking to different schools as well,
Mhm.
and maybe speaking to the high schoolers. And yes, so I was gonna ask. My question was on a ratio of like meeting versus interacting with actual people. What would you say that actually looks like for you? Like, would you say you spend most of your time in the office alone? Would you say that you spend a lot of times in meetings? Would you say you spend a lot of time like maybe just walking campus, talking to people, and maybe advertising events? Or like, what would you say like your ratio of most of your time spent, or maybe your week? Maybe you have specific days that you have like just meetings back to back, or days that I don't know, go out into the field and speak to people. Like, what does that look like for you?
Yeah, most of the time I spend in my office.
Okay.
Most of the time, like if I'm not doing anything else, you'll probably catch me doing things for social media as far as like, creating things for it. And so I do that all on my laptop and desktop and phone. So I'm pretty much in the office most of the time. Interacting with the students, I tend to set out time for that, try to do that maybe once a week or every other week, as far as, talking to the undergrads or talking to the students that have already been accepted. Or
Okay.
who knows, maybe a student, needs help, a current student, needs help here, finding internships or, just maybe they want to go into PR too. And so
Okay.
just like, helping, send that time aside to help them because, working in education, I want to help, young men and women like myself. So do things to the best of their abilities. And so that's why I took the job here in the first place. And so just from that standpoint, just being that, making sure I set that time aside to help them. But most of the time it's here in my office alone to answer your question.
Uh, yeah. Okay. All right. That sounds good. I think that's pretty much all my questions. Unless there's anything else that you wanted to add. I'm supposed to be doing this for 30 minutes, so we're almost at 30 minutes. But I think I've asked most of my questions. I also don't want to take up a lot of your time. But if there's anything else that you wanted to like, point out or get into depth about, I'm here open for it. If not, then we can just end the
Okay.
Zoom. So
Guess I guess just get some words of advice real fast. Just some things that I was saying, just how ways to be successful. Just you can't rush the journey. I'll say that whatever's gonna be for you is for you.
um,
Me, I couldn't find a job after college. I got a little depressed, but
mm,
I had to pick myself up and just go with it.
right,
You're gonna get a lot of no's. You're gonna get a lot of people that tell you, you're not what we're looking for, or we're gonna go in a different direction, but you can't let that break you. You're just gonna have to get an opportunity, do the best of your abilities, work hard, and what's going to be for you is for you. So that's the biggest thing I would say.
yeah.
And just don't give up. Been through a lot of let's see, after like I was saying, after college, couldn't find a job. I was about to join the military.
Oh,
Like
wow.
so, yeah. So a few weeks before I swore into the Navy, the job in Texas called me. So
Wow.
it's all like, not to get too religious about it, but you just gotta trust, God, or whatever faith you believe in, and just take that chance. Like, don't give up on your dreams.
Yeah.
Like, for example, when I'm done here, I want to work for the NFL one day, and I know I'm gonna get there because I just got to keep putting that work in. I'm not there yet, but I know with the work ethic I have and the connections that I'll make, I'm gonna get there.
Yeah.
And so that's what I would just say to anybody. Don't give up on what you want to do. There's no need of making a lot of money when you're unhappy. So
Mm,
from that standpoint, I would just tell them, to just keep pressing. And that's pretty much all I have.
that's good. That's good.
Mhm.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much for that.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I really this has been great. I'm
Mhm.
going to I'm gonna end the call, but thank you so much. I mean, not the call, the recording.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, thank you so much for your time, and I think your wisdom, and even just speaking about pushing on, because I think for me personally, when I think about the PR field, I feel like it, because you have to wear so many hats and such, it kind of becomes difficult for you to like just get a job.
Yeah.
Just because it seems like it's all over the place and you may just not know like specifically where to go and how to look like, for a job. Like, what positions am I looking for? Is it just PR specialist? And especially if I'm just coming out of school, like what exactly do I need to get into? But I think you definitely brought a lot of clarity in terms of like, just trying to do like the newspaper and just doing marketing and just doing all these different hats
Mm.
before becoming the PR relations like the specialist or whatever, consultant or whatever the case may be. But that was very good. And then thank you so much just for your time and just actually allowing a random stranger to hit you up on LinkedIn and to do the
No problem at all. I'm always willing to help. So, and it's great, see you doing this type of thing too. You interested and not being afraid to reach out. That's gonna take you a long way. So yeah, anytime.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.